Hello everyone, welcome to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce and this is an unboxing video. I have this absolutely giant box of books, which is not from Scholastic, no matter what the box says. Also, yes, I've lied to you on the thumbnail. The box does not have the shop's logo on the side, unfortunately. I'm going to put this down because it's heavy. So there's this indie bookstore in Melbourne called Little Book Room, which predominantly children's books, but it does also have some YA and some adult titles as well. And I was just looking through their range of various things and adding things to my cart, and I ended up with 20 books in there. And then I thought, well, why not support a small business in the middle of the panini? And I ordered them all. The first book on the very top of the box is This Poison Heart by Kalynn Bayron. I know nothing about this book except that it's queer and it's about plant witches, which honestly is pretty much all I need to know about any book ever. The next book is This Winter by Alice Oseman, which is a novella to go with the book Solitaire. It's about Charlie. It's the Christmas after he comes out of hospital, and I think he does end up going to visit Nick at the end. I have read this, but I don't really remember it. Oh, there's illustrations. That's fun. Very excited to finally read Solitaire, hopefully soon, and then reread this again with a little bit of extra context. Because the next book is Anything But Fine by Tobias Madden, which is a very new release. This is a queer love OzYA novel. It's about a boy called Luca who's ready for his audition for the Australian Ballet School, and being a ballet school is all he's ever wanted. And then he misses a step and breaks his foot. Then he goes to a new school because he can't go to the ballet school, obviously, with a broken foot, and he meets the rowing star and the school captain, and everyone thinks that this boy is straight, but Luca thinks maybe not. So, pretty sure it's going to turn out to be a romance. Very, very excited to read this because it just sounds incredible. And the next book I have is a manga volume. It's called That Blue Sky Feeling. This is a boys love manga. It's about a boy called Noshiro who transfers to a new school. He meets Sanada, who is a loner who doesn't seem to have any friends or want any friends. And the other kids say that Sanada keeps to himself because he's secretly gay. But Noshiro is not scared away by that rumor. It only makes him more interesting. And they're either going to be just incredible friends or it's going to be a romance. Either way, I'm for it. I feel like I heard about this book quite a while ago and then it just kind of dropped off everyone's radar. I'm excited to read it and see how it goes. And I think I only ordered 2 like adult novels. This is one of 2 and it's Freshwater by Akwaeke Emezi. This is sort of like a memoir but mostly fiction, and then they have a new book called Dear Centurion, which is an actual like memoir, but this draws a lot from Akwaeke's own life. I've heard nothing but good things. I've loved Pet and Vivek Oji like with all my heart, so I'm very excited to read everything that they've ever written. And then the next adult book is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This, I feel like everyone has been reading this lately, or maybe it's just that I'm watching old videos back from when everyone did read it. This is a letter written from a son to his mother, but his mother cannot read. So it talks about Vietnam and the impact of the war and the struggle that his family went through to forge a new future, I think in America. By all accounts, this is also incredible and I'm excited to read it for myself. The next book is Loveless by Alice Oseman. I realized after I placed this order that I actually have an e-copy of this, but oh well. This is the most recent novel that Alice Oseman has released, and I think the main character is aromantic, or else she's aro ace. I plan to read everything that Alice Oseman has ever written eventually as well, so very excited for this one. The next book that I have is Hani and Ishu's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jaigirdar. I've heard nothing but incredible things about this book as well, and actually I also ordered The Henna Wars. Both of these are about queer girls and they're both set in Ireland, I'm pretty sure, because that's where Adiba Jaigirdar lives. This one is obviously a fake dating book, and then this one has a lot about cultural appropriation. Both of these apparently are incredible, and obviously I'm excited to read both of them. The next book that I have is another Love OzYA book, which is queer. This is called Henry Hamlet's Heart. It's by Rhiannon Wild. This one is set in Brisbane. and I do kind of want to hold off on reading it until I'm in Brisbane next. My sister will be getting married in Brisbane hopefully next year, so maybe I'll do that. About a boy who's in the last semester of year 12 and he doesn't know where the future is going to take him. I don't know whether he falls in love with his best friend or if he falls in love with someone unexpected. It's queer, it's Australian, those are the only two things that I need. The next book that I bought is for my inner child. I've been wanting to have a copy of this book for a while because it is a classic. You might have noticed that pretty much all of the books in this box are queer. This one isn't specifically queer, but you know what? I'm claiming it for the gays. Alright, so so just bear with me a second. The book is The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle, which I somehow don't have a copy of. I think I just borrowed it from the library several thousand times. But now I have a copy for myself and I will definitely be revisiting this absolute masterpiece. But also the thing that came with this is a little Hungry Caterpillar toy because I wanted it. I will be accepting no judgment and I'm going to use it as a Bookstagram prop because I just think it's very cute. And at heart, I am a very hungry caterpillar as well, so it's fitting. The next book I was sort of peripherally aware of, but wasn't certain that I wanted to read it. And then I decided I would do like a secret TBR video, which required me to have this book, so I picked it up. It's The Passing Playbook by Isaac Fitzsimmons, which is about a trans boy called Spencer who is 15. He starts at a new school after being bullied at his previous school. He gets a spot on the boys' soccer team, maybe starts to have a romance with one of his teammates, and then I think it kind of comes out that he's trans and he has to fight to still be on the team. It sounds good, very excited to get to it. And the next book in here is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. This is also a very popular sapphic novel that's come out in the last few years. It's about this girl. So Sana is a cheerleader and she asked out Rachel, who is a film buff, and it says, Rachel has seen Carrie enough times to learn you can never trust cheerleaders. So when Sana, the cheerleader, asked her out, she thought it was a prank and was mad about it. I've heard mixed things about this one. I think people either really love it or they really hate it. I guess I'll see where I fall on this spectrum. And then the next book is Darius the Great Is Not Okay. So this is about a boy called Darius who is half white, half Iranian. He doesn't have a lot of connection with his Iranian culture, I think. And he's really into Star Trek because that's the only thing that he has in common with his white father. And then, so he goes to Iran and meets the boy next door. They become friends. I think that the romance in this and Darius being gay is not like overt. It's more like implied. And I think that we get more of it in the next book. I've heard nothing but great things about this one and I'm very excited to read it. Obviously, this is the theme of the whole video. Wouldn't have bought it if I didn't want to read it. Next book is Pet by Kweke Emezi, which I have already read. I talked about it in one of my wrap-ups, which I will link up here. I loved it. It was incredible. The next book that I have has arrived just in time for Latinx Book Bingo. It is 1500 Miles from the Sun by Johnny Garzavia. I don't remember specifically what this book is about, but it's queer. It comes highly recommended by Audrey. Again, that's pretty much all I need to pick up a book, and I will be reading it for Latinx Heritage Month. And there's only 3 more books left to go. It's 2 mangas and an anthology. The first manga is I Think Our Son Is Gay, Volume 1 by Okura. This is about this boy. He's got a younger brother and they live with their parents. It's usually away for work. And when he starts his first year of high school, his mother starts wondering if maybe he's gay, and she kind of tries to support him into coming out, you know, like she's just very supportive of the whole idea and wants him to know that. And I think it's going to be very funny and very awesome and great. And then the next one is Whisper Me a Love Song, which is a girls' love manga. The author is Eku Takashima. It's another high school romance. Himari falls head over heels for her senpai Yori after hearing her band perform on the first day of school. Himari tells Yori she's fallen in love at first sight, and to Himari's surprise, Yori confesses that she has as well. When Himari realizes that she and Yori are feeling two different kinds of love, she begins to ask herself what love really means. Very excited to get to this one as well. And then the last book I decided to pick up because in catching up on Sajid's videos, he talked about this a lot. It is Once Upon an Eid, which is edited by SK Ali and Aisha Saeed. I've heard several people talk about this and say really good things about it. I haven't had any books set during Eid. I do like to read like books set during a holiday, like during that holiday when it's actually happened, which is what I will be doing with this one. And I'm just very excited to read it for myself. Obviously I'm gonna like it too. And I think that's everything, I think. Oh no, I forgot one. Oh my goodness, there's one more in the box, and it is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. It's beautiful. I don't know what it's about, but it's beautiful. There's this princess. She's the only princess of the kingdom. She has magic, but magic is forbidden. She loses control of her magic during her betrothal ceremony, which delays the wedding, but draws the attention of her stepmother. So the stepmother banishes her, turns her brothers into cranes, and the princess must never speak of it to anyone. And we go from there. Apparently this is also amazing. I'm pretty sure it's going to be as incredible as this cover. Let us just look at this. Whoever did this artwork is like on the right track for their whole entire life, because it's just incredible. I have to wrap this up because lunch is ready and it's probably going cold. Those are all the books that I bought from Little Book Room. I was going to say these are all the books that I'm going to buy for the rest of the year, but that is a patent lie because I have about 20 books on pre-order. There's going to be a shortage. You have to get in early, okay? Okay. I will put a link to the Little Book Room down below. If you live in Australia, postage is a flat rate of $5 unless your order is over $60, in which case it is free. I have it on very good authority that if you live in the US, ordering a book from the Little Book Room and paying for international shipping comes out about the same as what you would pay for that same book from the Book Depository. And it also arrives really, really fast. Adri bought a book from there and told me when it arrived, and I was like, it's been like 10 days, and like it was, yeah, super quick. So no reason for you not to buy from this bookstore. Really great. All of the staff are really lovely. My friend works there and they're incredible, so just go and do the thing. If you've read any of these books and you would like to let me know what you thought of them, feel free to do that. If you just want to leave me an emoji so that I know that you are here, feel free to do that too. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye for now.